Hey, this is Summer with Summerly Design Co., and I knit socks obsessively and design sock knitting patterns. Today, this is the 5th video in my series teaching you how to knit a basic sock. It's part of my School of Sock library of free patterns and tutorials designed to help you learn how to knit socks. We're using the I'm So Basic sock knitting pattern, which you can get for free. I will put a link to that pattern in the description of this video. Today on this 5th and final video, I'm going to be showing you how to do Kitchener stitch to graft your toes closed. You have reached the very end of your sock. You've done all the toe shaping, all the decreases, your knitting is done, and now it's time for the finishing touches. And that includes grafting those toe stitches together, weaving in your ends, and then blocking your sock. The pattern includes instructions for all of that. I did in the pattern link to a pictorial article that Pearl Soho did showing you how to do Kitchener stitch. I think it is the best explanation possible. So I did not even try to replicate it for the pattern. I just put a link in there directing you to it because it's just perfect. I think it's such a great way to learn Kitchener stitch. I'm going to visually show you how in this video, but you can also click the link in the pattern in order to go to that Pearl Soho article that shows you how to do it in pictures. But for now, we'll go ahead and get started and I will show you how to do it in the video. So the first thing that we did, whenever you finished all of your toe shaping and you were left with your target number of stitches evenly divided on both needles, I'm knitting the size medium. So for me, I needed to decrease down to 28 stitches with 14 stitches on each needle. Once you get that, you want to cut a length of yarn. Whenever you cut your yarn that you used for your toes, you want to cut a pretty long length, and this is what you're going to use to graft your toes. So I always cut more than I need because I'm just always so worried I'll run out. So I usually cut a pretty good long length here. You're going to thread it onto a tapestry needle, and now we're going to begin. The important thing with Kitchener stitch is you have a front needle, the one that's closest to you, and a back needle, the one that's furthest from you. And we're just going to be inserting our needle back and forth in our stitches to graft our toes closed. The first thing we need to do is get set up. So we are going to insert our tapestry needle purlwise into the first stitch on the front needle and pull the yarn all the way through. Next, we are going to insert our tapestry needle knitwise through the first stitch on the back needle and pull the yarn all the way through. Okay, now we're all set up and we're ready to go. All right, now we are going to insert our needle knitwise through the first stitch on the front needle, and we're going to pull that stitch off the needle and pull the yarn all the way through. Then we're going to insert our tapestry needle through this next stitch on the front needle, if I can get it in there, leave it on the needle, pull the yarn all the way through. Now we're going to insert our tapestry needle purlwise through the first stitch on the back needle, pull that stitch off, and pull the yarn all the way through. Then we insert our tapestry needle knitwise through this next stitch on the back needle, leave it on the needle, pull the yarn all the way through. Then we will insert our tapestry needle knitwise through the first stitch on the front needle, pull it off, pull the yarn all the way through. Then insert our tapestry needle purlwise through the next stitch on the front needle, leave it on the needle, pull the yarn all the way through. Then we're going to insert our tapestry needle purlwise through the first stitch on the back needle, pull that stitch off, pull the yarn all the way through, and then insert our needle knitwise through the next stitch on the back needle, leave it on the needle, pull the yarn all the way through. So a couple of things. First, you'll notice my needles are really close together and my stitches on both needles are right up at the tip. That makes it really easy to do your Kitchener stitch. The next thing you may have noticed is that we've got a pattern going. Anytime we're working with stitches on the front needle, we first get rid of the first stitch by inserting our needle knitwise. The stitch that remains on the needle, we're inserting our tapestry needle purlwise. Then when we move to the back needle, the stitch that comes off the needle, we're inserting our tapestry needle purlwise. The stitch that's going to remain on the needle, we're inserting our tapestry needle knitwise. So you will keep doing that. Keep repeating those steps. And again, you can refer to the pattern. You can refer to the link I put in the pattern for the Purl Soho article, and just keep following those steps all the way until you get to the last stitch on your needle. So once again, this insert purlwise, leave the stitch on the needle, insert your tapestry needle into the first stitch on the back needle purlwise, and pull it off the needle and pull the yarn all the way through. Then insert your needle knitwise into the next stitch on the back needle and leave it on. Pull the yarn all the way through. Insert your needle into the first stitch on the front needle knitwise, pull it off the needle, and pull your yarn all the way through. And just keep going like that until you've reached the very last stitch. All right, I have finished grafting all my stitches together. I am completely 100% almost done with this sock. I still have to weave in my ends and then I still have to block it. There's information in the pattern that shows you how and why I block my socks, gives you information about caring for your hand knit socks after you finish knitting it, because you obviously don't want all this hard work to be destroyed in a washing machine potentially. So refer to the pattern for that, for information on blocking and to see a blocked sock and an unblocked sock side by side, so you can kind of get an idea of why I do it. Now that I've finished grafting in my toes, I'm simply just going to insert my needle into a point here to get this all this way. I told you I always get way more yarn than I need whenever I do Kitchener stitch. But anyways, I'll just poke my needle in here, reach in and pull all that yarn through to the wrong side. I'll weave in all my ends and we'll be done. Thank you so much for watching this entire video series on how to knit a basic pair of socks. I hope it was really helpful to you as you're learning how to knit socks. You are more than welcome to reach out to me on Instagram through DM. You can reach out to me on Ravelry. You can reach out to me through email. I've got all of that listed in the pattern. You can reach out and ask questions if you ever have any. I'm always happy to help. So definitely find me on Instagram, find me on Ravelry. I'll put all that information in the description of this video. Love to talk socks. I'm super excited to see everyone's finished I'm So Basic socks. You can also subscribe to my channel if you found these tutorials helpful. I'll be posting a lot more tutorials for different sock knitting techniques in the future, as well as more free patterns and tutorials in my School of Sock library. I also have a podcast, and those episodes can be found on my channel as well. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more content. And yeah, hit me up on Instagram, Pinterest, Ravelry, all those places. Thank you again for watching.